You didn't apply for this job. There was no vote, no ceremony. The last leader took a last round through the throat during a border dispute over a broken water reclamator, and you were the one still standing when it was over. That's the only qualification that matters down here. The territory, the crew, the debts you didn't know existed until someone showed up to collect. All of it. Yours now. Territory last month, a gang 3 sectors over, disappeared overnight. Not defeated, not pushed out. 40 people, gone between one shift change and the next. By the time the ventilation cycled, someone had already painted over their colors. Fresh Escher sigils over dead Orlok symbols. Rockrete still wet. Nobody claimed the kill. Nobody needed to. This is what territory means in the Underhive. Not land, not walls. A stretch of tunnel where 3 trade routes cross, where Gilder convoys pay passage tax, where manufacturing bosses pay protection, where settlements pay just to keep their water flowing. Lose it, and the credits stop. Credits stop, weapons stop. Weapons stop. You last maybe a week. So every shift change, when the hive's ventilation drops half a pitch and the tunnels go slightly quieter, first thought is always the same. Who moved last night? What they touched? Whether the silence means nothing happened or means something happened that nobody wants to tell you yet. You haven't slept properly in 4 days. Your crew, your champion has been with you 3 years. Everyone calls him Rook. You've never asked why. Good fighter, handles discipline without being asked, knows when to push and when to disappear into the background. Until last week, a scout mentioned, almost nothing, that Rook had a private meeting with an Orlok contact. No explanation, no heads up. You didn't ask him about it. Asking means showing you noticed, so you watched instead. 2 days later, you found out. Rook had been selling information about a rival gang's sump route to an Orlok road boss. Credits straight into the gang's emergency fund. No personal cut. He hadn't mentioned it because he wasn't sure it would work. The person you were most suspicious of had been the most loyal one in the room. 6 months later, Rook died, protecting that same supply route. Ambush. 3 Goliaths. 1 exit. He never knew you'd suspected him. You still think about that. A day in the Underhive. There was a new recruit at the time. Dav. 16. Fast learner. Always first for wall duty. Annoying habit of asking questions nobody else bothered with. 5 months in. Already better than half your senior gangers. Morning starts with a settlement elder. Missed protection payments. 6 weeks. Water reclamator failed. You give him 2 more weeks. He sees the 2 gangers behind you. He nods and leaves. Your scout Mira returns late. 3 eastern markers. Burned. Not taken down. Burned and left there. A message. Not an attack. You send everyone east. Nothing happens. No attack. No follow-up. 3 days of silence. Then the water stops flowing. To the settlement. 2 blocks over. The pipe junction runs directly under your western boundary. While your attention was pointing east, someone cut it from the west. The elder came back. This time, he wasn't asking for more time. He was telling you that families were leaving, that children were drinking sump runoff because there was nothing else. You made a decision. Pull people from the eastern boundary, the boundary you just reinforced, and redirect them to fix the western pipe. Leave the trade route exposed for 48 hours and hope nobody noticed. Someone noticed. By the time the water was flowing again, a Cawdor crew had set up a checkpoint on your main Gilder passage. 3 days of tribute. You saved the settlement. You lost the credits. Half your gang thought it was the right call. Half didn't. Leadership is mostly that, choosing which problem you can live with. The part nobody tells you 4 days after Dav's first real skirmish. A probe on the southern tunnel, nothing serious. A crate arrived. No sender. A location tip from a Gilder contact you half trusted. And inside, fresh lasguns. Vansar manufacture, still sealed. The kind of weapons that don't reach Underhive hands without a reason. You took them. Of course, you took them. The attack came the next morning. Western boundary. 3 simultaneous strikes. Exactly at your weak points. Dav was covering the maintenance corridor on the far left. He didn't make it back. Afterward, sitting in the command post, lost discharge still in the air. You kept coming back to the timing. Weapons arrive. Attack follows. Someone sent those guns, knowing what was coming. Who benefits if we survive this? Who benefits if we don't? You still don't have an answer. And somewhere in the Underhive, the gang that disappeared last month, 40 people, no trace. Nobody has an answer for that either. Some questions down here, just stay open. The truth about the top. Every gang leader knows the same story. There was a man, maybe 15 years ago, who built something nobody had seen. 5 sectors, unified. His gang collected tribute from Guilder convoys, negotiated directly with House representatives, ran the largest corpse starch distribution network in that quarter of the Hive. For 11 years, the Underhive moved around him. Then one morning, his command chair was empty. No body, no explanation. Someone else was sitting in it within the week. Nobody asked questions out loud. That's the part people remember most. Not the 11 years. The silence after. Gang leaders don't retire. You know this. Most days, it sits in the background, like the Hive's ventilation hum. Constant, easy to ignore, present in every decision. Never quite gone. Walk through your territory and look past the obvious. Past the weapons, past the Escher graffiti, layered over Cawdor symbols, layered over something older underneath. Past the barricade at the main junction, built from a collapsed HAB unit wall. 3 corridors down, there's a mural on bare rockreet. No reason, no commission, just paint someone got hold of and used. Kids learn to read in the room next to it, taught by a ganger who taught herself first. There's a kitchen that's fed people who can't pay for 2 years straight, run by a woman who lost 3 family members to a gang war and decided that was enough of that. People build things here, even when the spire has never heard their names, even when the houses move them around a board they can't see. You didn't apply for this job, but somewhere along the way, it stopped being about surviving another day. It became about making sure everyone else did too. The weapons and the territory are how you survive. The people are why. Which part of this breaks you first? The fighting, the politics, or the moment you realize some questions never get answered? Drop it below. And if you want to know what's actually waiting for gang leaders in the Underhive, the mutants, the creatures, the things that don't show up on any map, that one's coming next. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.